good?
Yeah. Good.
Fantastic. Great. Thank you so much for taking part. Let's start. Tell us how important MTN private placements are. How do they fit into your funding strategy, and why are they important?
Sure. Well, for us, private placements are very important. On average, during the last several years, they've accounted for around 25% of our total funding, which, as you can tell, is very important for us. We have currently a program of around $4 billion, so it will account for around $1 billion just of private placements in 1 year.
And what are you getting out of accessing private markets in terms of what are the advantages versus benchmarks?
Sure. Well, it's a win-win situation for investors and for us, of course. We are able to accommodate investors' needs, whether it's tenor, currency, structure, or whatever. So in that sense, we can get not only existing investors buying our bonds in the private placement format, but also gaining new investors that, for example, prefer to do a smaller private placement rather than entering into a benchmark size transaction. So it's also good for us in that sense. Also, given that we can do different things and accommodate some new structures, we are able to, for example, extend duration compared to our public size or benchmark size transactions. That's one thing. Other, we can do different currencies. We normally do euros or dollars as benchmarks, but we can do many different currencies. That will also help to diversify our funding book. Even they can help to us to diversify our swap book, which is very important because you reduce the correlation between currencies, and that also helps to reduce our risk.
What typically, what kind of savings are you making by doing an MTN private placement versus benchmarks?
Sure. It's not an exact number, and it varies depending on the investor, the timing, the tenor. But I would say that on average will be between 10 to 15, maybe 20 basis points, depending on the current situation.
Could you just make the same answer, but just because of the way I asked the question, could you say typically we can make savings just at the beginning? Because my questions get edited out. Sorry.
Okay.
Would that be okay?
No problem.
So can I ask you that? So what would be the savings you can make?
Yeah.
Sorry. What would be the savings you can make on MTN private placements?
Well, it depends on the situation of the market, the specific time, the investor, the currency, but typically it would be in the range of 10 to 20 basis points on average.
Perfect. So, and how would you pitch CAF as a credit?
We are a unique credit. I mean, although as other supranationals, we are very similar. We offer a preferred creditor status. We have a large number of shareholders, particular countries. We also have a very sound financial profile. This is, I would say, common to all of our peers. However, given that we are more focused on Latin America, and we offer diversification to our investors, while providing geo pickup compared to our AAA peers. That's very important for our investors, and they recognize that. We also are an evolving credit. I mean, as opposed to most supranationals that have been rated AAA for many years. Actually, most of them since their inception. In our case, we've come from, despite investment grade rating, but 25 or maybe more years ago, we've come from BBB to the AA rating we have today. And still we are not AAA, so that means that investors may gain some geo pickup and some value investing in our bonds.
Fantastic. And which pockets of can you just run us through the pockets of private placement demand you've tapped so far? The products, currencies, that you've managed to explore, and where you would like to go next? What would you like to do more of?
We've done a total of 15 different currencies in our private placements, including currencies such as Brazilian reais, Colombian pesos, and well, many other currencies in Latin American region, but also throughout the world, including CNH or Indian rupees and some Nordic currencies as well. So as you can see, it's a wide variation of currencies. For example, this year we've done around 7 private placements in all of these different currencies, and said that we'd like to do more. We can do from 2 up to 30 years, so it's a wide range. Not only using MTN, but also, for example, in Germany, we use the Schuldschein program, where we accommodate the demand from German insurance companies as well.
And what markets have you been able to tap in Asia?
Well, different ones, including, the main one for us is the Japanese market. For many years, we've been issuing in Japan. Actually, since 1993 was our first issue in Japan. But we've done also in Sing dollars, in Hong Kong dollars, in CNH as well. Also, not only in the institutional investor market, but also in the Yuridashi market, where retail investors in Japan have bought our paper for many years now.
Excuse me. I was trying not to cough before. Oh, thank you. I just managed to stop myself before you finished the sentence. Okay, thank you. Right. And how does your issuance connect with CAF's mandate as an organisation?
In different ways. I would say that the first and main one is through reducing our cost of funding. Since we have in total 19 countries with different rates and ratings, we have to be relevant to all of them. That's our main vision, to finance development projects in all of these countries. In order to do that, we have to reduce the cost of our funding as much as possible, given our rating, and of course, through the series of upgrades we've received in the recent years. That's the main one. Other ways we deal with our mandate is through the issuance of thin bonds, for example. We see this trend of investors willing to have a specific use of proceeds of the bonds they buy. And so far we've done bonds in the social and environmental sectors. The social, we've done a total of 3 water bonds in the Japanese institutional and retail markets, I mean in the Yuridashi market. And also we've done a green bond. It's just our inaugural green bond, just launched a month ago in Colombian pesos. It was a 10-year Colombian 150 billion Colombian pesos. It was a 10-year with in a private placement format.
Wow, fantastic. And where are you going next to find investors? What are you targeting?
Well, as I said before, we've done plenty of currencies, but certainly we still have a lot of work to do. We know that there is more demand, for example, in Asia. I mean, we need to do more work there and gaining more investors, engage more investors. Also in the Nordic region, although we've done a couple of transactions with some investors there, there is still a lot to do in that market. The other one that we're willing to increase our presence, although we've done some kangaroo bonds, is Australia and maybe New Zealand. That's another way, another place we'd like to do more transactions there.
And what are your funding needs right now, and what's the range of inquiry you would be able to respond to?
The total funding program is around $4 billion. for the year.